to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to the Riviera Beach Planning and Zoning meeting. Today's date is October 23rd, 2025, and as I stated, we started at 6:29 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Board Member Gallen.
Here.
Board Member Burgess. Here. Board Member Joseph. Here. Board Member Shepherd. Here. Vice Chair Fernandez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Do we have acknowledgement of board member absence notifications?
Yes, we do. We have Mr. Board Member Brown did send an email that he will not be attending tonight, and we did receive a phone call from Chair Wiley that he's unable to make it tonight.
Perfect. And for the record, we have a quorum. We have an acknowledgement of board member vacant positions.
Yes, sir, Chair. We have for the vacancies, this is for the alternate vacant District 2, vacant alternate position District 4. We have vacant board member District 5. And by the chair being unable to attend tonight, he's District 3. Mr. Gallen will have voting rights tonight.
Thank you. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda for tonight?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As was brought to your attention via email, the applicant for agenda items 7A, 7B, and 7C provided a letter requesting postponement of those items so that additional work can be done on them. The staff has no objection to that request for postponement, so we are supporting of their request to be removed from tonight's agenda.
Okay. Your unit's recommendation to KMG was also to, I don't want to misquote you, downsize the project or come back. Are they also addressing your concerns, or are they just addressing the utility concern? Are you aware? Which?
And the only information we have at the moment is what was stated in the letter. However, the applicant is here, so they can clarify exactly all of the things they would like to delve into during the postponement period.
Are there any other deletions to the agenda or any other modifications to the agenda for tonight?
No, Mr. Chair.
Do I have a motion to accept the agenda with the deletions noted by Director Sermons?
Second. It has been properly moved in second,
Sorry,
Chair.
excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, if I may. The staff also has a secondary request. We do believe there are members in the audience that may have come to speak on the project. So it may be proper to move the public comment section so that those that did come to speak on the project have an opportunity to speak and don't have to wait for staff to report on the other items. So if it's the pleasure of the board, we would recommend moving public comment to 6A under unfinished business. Or potentially, I'm sorry, new business under 7A.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, I stopped it before she called. Sorry.
Just a reminder on those public comments, if we're not hearing from KMG on their proposal, I strongly urge those that are here and those that are watching via YouTube TV to come to the meeting where the topic will be addressed. You're free to speak tonight, but please come to the meeting where the actual proposal will be brought forth before this board. Okay? And the date, we don't have a date yet when it will be brought forth.
We do not, Mr. Chair.
Do you know when it will be noticed of the date? Would it be online a week before, 2 weeks before?
We would follow all of our notice requirements, which means that the property would have to be posted 15 days in advance. Mailers would need to be postmarked 15 days in advance for whenever this comes back before you.
So the sign they have there now, there's going to be a new date on that sign, am I correct? Before the meeting?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I believe the motion is still on the floor. It was moved and seconded,
Oh, for the, yes.
Are we ready?
so it has to be
Agenda.
amended.
Are we ready for the?
Thank you, Ms. Burgess.
Are we ready for the vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Board Member Gallen,
Yes.
Board Member Joseph,
Yes.
Board Member Shepherd, Board Member Burgess,
Yes.
Chair Fernandez,
Yes.
unanimous vote, Chair.
Next is 5, Ms. Weathers. We have meeting minutes to approve, correct?
Yes, that is correct, Chair.
So we have the meeting minutes of September the 11th, 2025 to approve. Do I have a motion? No, we need a first and a second. Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been properly moved in second.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it's on the actual agenda. The agenda packet was down, but the agenda itself was there and the meeting minutes were in the agenda. You just have to click on it. You're really trying to get rid of that book, aren't you? Ms. Weathers, can we?
Are we ready for it?
Yes, ma'am.
It has been properly moved in second. Are we ready for the vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Board Member Shepherd, Board Member Joseph, Board Member Burgess,
Yes.
Board Member Gallen,
Yes.
Chair Fernandez,
Yes.
unanimous vote, Chair.
Do we have any unfinished business, number 6?
Not from staff, Mr. Chair.
Now we're on to 7A. Do you want the public to speak now or wait until KMG presents whatever there is, whatever presentation they have?
They have no
They
presentation
have none.
tonight
You
since
said
it's
they
been
were here, but they
removed.
have
Just
none.
yes, just an opportunity for the public to speak that came to weigh
Perfect.
in on the project.
Perfect. Ms. Weathers, would you please call the comment cards?
Yes, we have comment card, Mr. Alex Hill.
Am I live? Great. Good evening. Thank you, members of the board, for your service to the city and opportunity for myself to speak tonight. My name is Alex Hill. I'm the president of the association, Lake Harbor Cove Condominium Association at 3040 Lakeshore Drive. We will be the property just to the south of the proposed waterway project. I did want to come to speak tonight, even with the project at this point being off the agenda. Just a first note, we are not against development. We are certainly encouraged by things going on in our small sliver of the city. Berkeley Landing just a couple of years ago, the plans for Oculina up the street at the corner of Silver Beach and Lakeshore Drive. But we certainly want to make sure it's responsible development and things are kept in a reasonable scale for the area. I want to thank the group Urbana from representing KMG. They came and met with our condominium specifically around August 15th and gave us a presentation and opportunity to speak to our concerns. And we have given those specific project plan concerns to them. So I'm not going to really go into that this evening. But again, we're looking forward to the revised proposal that they will have. And if there's anything we could learn further about the city's plans or vision specific to that small area, that north kind of east corner right along Lakeshore Drive, specifically how increased residential units in that area, the demands on traffic and potential plans to rebuild and beautify Lakeshore Drive, we're certainly very excited to hear about those in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.
The next public comment card, Mr. Joe Duchin. Dutch.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Joe Duiker. I'm a relatively new resident and owner on Lakeshore Drive, and certainly want to thank you for this opportunity and certainly appreciate the hard work you're doing. I've only been here since August, trying out the area to see if it's a good place to retire. So I live at Dolphin Point Condominiums, where the low-rise, older building on Lakeshore, kind of 2 doors down from where this would be built. And I've spent plenty of time walking my little French Bulldog, Boston Terrier mix Louis up and down Lakeshore every morning and kind of getting a feel for the neighborhood. And in the evenings, love it. It's wonderful, wonderful area. Looking forward to finding out, what new development and ideas may be coming forward. The concern is as we go down to the end and we see what's going on in Lake Park and that very, very large structure, that Nautilus 220, have some concern about that size being into that portion of Lakeshore Drive. Again, I'm very, very new to the area, not familiar with the situation, what's going on, what's happened, and what they may have done to talk to our condo complex. Again, we're neighbors 2 doors down from this, 3 doors down from this, so not quite sure with the communication there, just kind of getting my feet wet. The one concern I did want to bring to the board's attention, this is the second meeting I've come to make public comment and listen to what might be said about the project, and this is the second time it's been postponed. So my concern would be you're now dealing with 2 postponements, 2 big signs that have been up on the street that have had to been taken down. It may mean that, again, I'm going to be bold here, it would seem that the project is maybe running a little too fast and may need to slow down a little bit to address things and be in a place where it's ready to go. And especially for residents like us, there were a couple other people who wanted to come and speak. Older folks just couldn't make it tonight from Dolphin Point. And it just seems like they've tried to come and they've expressed frustration to me that it's been on the agenda. We've seen the signs up and then we find out it's canceled. So we're just hoping that, maybe a longer run, maybe, imparting to the developers, hey, you may want to take a little more time with this. I understand time is money, but from a resident's perspective, that radical a change to the area, we have concerns, especially the traffic idea. Because if you look at Lakeshore right now, Lakeshore is a very, very quiet space, and just trying to figure out how all those cars are going to operate in that area. It's a bit of a concern. So thank you so very much, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sermons, I've got a question for you. This is the first time I've seen KMG come before us. The gentleman said there were twice and 2 postponements. Can you clarify that?
I know this has not been on any planning and zoning board agendas, so I will have to speak with the development team to see if any signs went out prior to the one noticing today's meeting to investigate that. So I'm not certain at the moment.
Your office follows up when a developer places a sign and a notice, your office follows up to make sure the right dates are on there, correct?
When noticing a meeting that they're scheduled for, yes, we follow up to verify that the sign has the correct dates, that the mailers went out with the correct dates and the requisite amount of time. Yes, we do that.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, if I could just add, I believe what happened previously was the applicant put up a sign in anticipation of planning to come to a meeting, but it was not yet scheduled for the agenda. So that may be what the gentleman was referencing. There was a sign that was put up on a previous meeting and then taken down.
So based on that, then let's hope that next time they put up a sign and the dates, Unified Team can get together with the KMG team and get on the same game plan.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Shepherd.
The applicant team. Right, and I would need to investigate to figure out exactly what happened, what order, and how that took place. Our standard practice is to notify the applicant, you are approved for this agenda. These are the notice requirements. They must be executed in time in order for your item to move forward. So I do not have all the details at this moment of what took place with the prior sign, but I can absolutely look into that and make sure that it doesn't happen in any meetings moving forward.
Not only with this developer, any other developers to
Correct.
avoid this
Correct.
issue. And now that they're here, so the KMG representatives are here, I'm sure they heard us, our remarks and the timeframes, and they'll coordinate with your office.
We will be absolutely coordinated with this project team and any others moving forward, but especially this one, as there has been stated tonight that there was some confusion about a previous date. So we'll make sure that there's 100% clarity before this comes back.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Shepherd.
Right, I think that in order for us to do things properly, it has to be proper, it's just, thank you, Walter, I knew it was something wrong, thank you. But it's kind of, because it's the second time I've seen something like this happen. It happened on my street and people were calling me and nobody took responsibility for putting a sign up. So I think you really should make it plain that let the city put the signs up. So, because I pass that way all the time and I never saw this sign, never. So it's just news to me. This is all news to me.
Understood, Mr. Chair. We will take additional precautions to ensure no confusion in the future.
I appreciate
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman. Ms. Weathers, do we have any more comment cards?
No, sir, Chair, at this time.
Do you have any notes or anything that was sent in to you regarding this? Any letters or anything regarding this topic? KMG?
No, sir, Chair.
Thank you. Well, I guess the next step is 7D, am I correct?
7D, reporting of employment conditions added by the Planning and Zoning Board site approval. The presenter will be Senior Planner Juan Suarez.
Planning and Zoning Board. Hope you guys doing well tonight.
Thank you, sir.
So the purpose of this report is to summarize the status of the projects with employment conditions and their site plan approvals, provide transparency and accountability regarding local hiring efforts, outline next steps for compliance, monitoring, and follow-up. So little background of why we're doing this. In certain approvals, the Planning and Zoning Board require an employment condition in the resolutions stating that the developers must actively advertise employment opportunities within the city of Riviera Beach. The report is post-CO, 6 months after all project gets their CO. And the board requested a status update on this project. So this is the projects that have that condition in the resolution. We can see so far we have 9 projects. Projects status overview. So from all those 9 projects, ones that have been discarded, not moving forward, Mariner Marine, Ment Eco, not yet initiated, K-Rain, completed, K1 Speedway. They right now are operating under TCO, temporary certificate of occupancy. Sunstar Logistic, that is Ozinga, if not mistaken, is the silo, the cement silo. Eastern Group, Amazon. And under construction right now, we have Eliminate, the Marina Village, Safe Harbor, Rival Beach. Those ones are awaiting CO issuance. So the ones that K1, we did reach out to them, sending just a friendly reminder that as soon as they get the CO, we will be expecting that report. We'll give them after CO, if not mistaken, 2 to 3 weeks, they have to show us that report so we can present it to the planning and zoning board.
Mr. Sermons, did we not add besides employment also local vendors and local vendors and suppliers as well as employment? Wasn't that part of the agreement?
Do you recall the exact language of the condition? Do you have that with you, Mrs. Suarez?
Not with me, the exact condition, the resolution, no, I don't have it with me.
Okay, you can review it for the next meeting. And what happened to Berkeley Landing?
I will have to double check if that one had the condition or not.
Okay,
I want to clarify, because these projects, as presented are in various stages. I believe it's only 2 of them that would have been post 6 months occupancy. Amazon is one. They provided their post 6 month report. We did have that. The issue with Amazon is they pivoted on the type of facility that they opened here in Riviera Beach. So 6 months post CO, they had not activated the center and started running logistics out of it. They changed it to a last mile center, as they described it, and they added a bunch of different types of machinery and pivoted the type of facility. So they gave us the post 6 month report. They subsequently did a lot of work, amended their site plan, and then eventually opened up fully and staffed the facility later. So we have put in additional requests for them to provide an update, but they did satisfy the initial requirement of that condition. And then the Sunstar Logistics was another older project that had it. We have made that request to ensure that they come into compliance, but the majority of the others that are at different levels of waiting to submit permit or waiting to get through construction. And so we are putting the process in place so that when the building official issues that CO, that we start the clock that 6 months after, they need to follow up that way. So we are putting that in place. And the ones that are past due, the Sunstar Logistics, we will make sure we update this report as soon as we have that from that development.
thank you. Any questions or from the board? Comments?
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Shepherd.
is there an update on the, what is the skating thing over near I-95? I know they were not using Riviera Beach.
Oh, the issue with the go-kart
Yeah.
location that was not using, they were using West Palm Beach on their advertising, and they were told it has to be Riviera Beach. Is there an update? That's what Ms. Shepherd's.
That's K1 Speedway.
K1
Yes.
Speedway.
Yes, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yes, we have, we followed up on that twice with K1. One right when they were about to open, and then a second time after they finally got open, and they did come into compliance. The only issue that that we did not see as resolved is on websites such as Google. They go more often off of the postal address, the zip code, and that one often defaults to West Palm Beach. But in terms of the advertisements that they are in full control of, like on their webpage, we went to them and even through our code compliance process, addressed them directly with management, and they were apologetic and got on it right away. So they've shown themselves to be a good partner with the city since we had to bring that to their attention.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, do you want me to go over what that condition is that we're
Yes, if
talking
you have
about?
it.
The applicant shall actively advertise employment opportunities for temporary and permanent positions within the city of Riviera Beach, including participation at community job fairs or hosting specialized recruitment events. The developer shall provide a report to the Development Services Department at 6 months post certificate of occupancy, documenting their outreach efforts to acquire local employees, the number of local employees hired, and the number of local businesses contracted with, subject to employment and privacy laws, including the percentage of construction costs expended with local vendors.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned businesses because we did make that as part of it. And I know we had several meetings where I made sure that we told them we have plenty of plumbing suppliers, electrical suppliers, that are in the Riviera Beach to make sure of that. So we just amend that as well. So we're gonna get the employment and the business they utilize for their project. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Suarez, for your presentation. Very well. Now we're on 7E.
The board discussion request from board member Renee Burgess to discuss gentrification and suggested tax abatement program. The presenter will be Long Range Principal Planner Sunil Simon.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, planners, members of the Planning and Zoning Board. This was a discussion item that was brought forth by Planning and Zoning member Burgess. And so we put it on the agenda for a discussion of anti-gentrification and suggested tax abatement programs as a discussion for the board. Want to start with a definition of gentrification, which is the displacement of existing residents, often in older neighborhoods, by higher income new residents moving into the area as an area improves or experiences new investment. The associated increase in property values and increased taxes as a result of that can often contribute to that process. Again, board member Rena Burgess submitted this request, and staff has done some research. Towards that, we have identified what existing anti-gentrification policies do we have in our comprehensive plan. We also looked around and identified a new plan that's been created countywide called the Housing for All Plan. And then we really wanted to bring to the board's attention some of the new policies that are in our new comprehensive plan that are specifically looking to help address that. So with that, I would like to introduce Ms. Sunil Simon.
Good evening, Sunil Simon, Principal Planner of Long Range Planning.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. I'm going to do a little switcheroo, if that's okay. 'Cause I wanted you guys to also have a visual. Members of the board, hello again. So we looked at, as Assistant Director Scott Evans says, we looked at what policies we had here in our plan, and then where we're going, as you all have been working on the comprehensive plan, where we're going with this in order to address gentrification, as we know that these are some of the issues that we have here in the city. So when we looked at our old policies, we looked at what is our plan currently, what our interventions does our plan currently have. We had about one policy actually that specifically addressed gentrification. And then we had several policies that looked at neighborhood stabilization. We looked at assisting and supporting our senior housing, and then promoting home ownership, right? Within these policies, some of it looks at when we're looking from a funding point of view, where we're supporting funding from our Palm Beach County's Housing Finance Authority, from SHIP, and from home funding in order to provide mortgage assistance, as well as other ways for folks to stay in their home, right? We also started looking at neighborhood stabilization, where we said we are supporting programs and projects listed in our neighborhood sector plan. The neighborhood sector plans are plans that were made about a decade or so ago in order to say, how do we actually intervene within each individual neighborhood? Those plans before my time have been addressed in some ways. In other ways, they're just kind of sitting the same. So one of the things that we're doing with our comp plan now is that we'll be taking those plans and that we're going through them again in order to have, as you guys remember from our comprehensive plan conversation, is that we're going to have a neighborhood focus. And within this neighborhood focus, we take these same plans and now we start to say how, as a neighborhood, we start to address what's happening in our neighborhood. And why is that important? That's important because we're wanting to say that we want to stabilize, to preserve our existing communities. Right now, you're looking at new buildings that are coming in, which means new communities being formed. But at the same time, how do we preserve our existing communities in order for them to be a place that we want to live in? So that way it's also done in an affordable manner that we actually are able to live there and stay there. It was also important for us to look at assisting and supporting our senior housing. Um, we have policies that talk about housing for our special needs population, and that special needs population includes our seniors, but it also includes other vulnerable groups, right? How do we ensure that everyone has a place to stay? Because what does that mean? The moment that you're forgetting your senior population, your vulnerable populations, what you're saying is that I'm being priced out, right? So if I'm on a fixed income, how do I continue to afford to live here? And so we have policies that try to protect them in that way. But we felt that some of those policies weren't strong enough. And so for our new policies that we have coming in, we start to talk about the infrastructure that's in our communities, who's paying for it, how are we doing that? And at the same time that there's fair treatment in how we all receive this, especially with our senior population. And then also we talk about, and once again, that sector plan that I talked about starts to address how do we make spaces for our senior population to live? Maybe we can't live in our same home. Right now, we're looking at adding additional spaces where we can have accessory dwelling units. We're talking about having smaller homes that if I'm going from my big house where I no longer have my 4 kids in the house and I just need to make sure, I just want to step down a little bit, I don't have to go to another location. I don't have to go to another apartment place that's across town, but within my same community, I'm allowed to have housing that's able to serve me and my needs in that. So right now we're opening and expanding our plan to allow us to be able to have these types of homes within our communities, and folks are able to put these mother-in-law suites or other accessories within our backyards in order to do just that. We also look at promoting home ownership. So our city has been very intentional and very loud in saying that we want to make sure that we can afford our homes. Our plans have asked to be worked to, our former policies talk about supporting private companies to come in and put in more single family homes, and put in more partnerships with our nonprofits to have homes. But we felt that, the way development is going, maybe they're not always coming in to put in other single family homes. The amount of land that we have left, we've noticed that people are saying, I think I want to put bigger structures on there. We're looking at plan changes that will, number one, help support families to afford their own home. We're looking at increasing the amount of funding that we have towards that, but my policies are just policies to say that we support them. I don't have the income, so please don't come looking for me if we don't have the money. But we are pushing for that to be on our budget annually in order to do that. And at the same time, looking at other ways to be creative, to find the finances and to partner with the right partners. And some of that include creative methods that we have identified in our Housing for All plan. So the county with an amazing group of stakeholders throughout the county worked for years on a Housing for All plan. And everyone here in this room probably voted for, maybe some against, but it did pass for us to kind of tax ourselves as a county in order to address housing. So I think it was like $200 million that were sent towards this. And then it created a Housing for All plan, but then the city of Riviera Beach, from great leaders, Anita Jenkins, pushed us to adopt our own plan. And so we worked with stakeholders across the county and within our own institution. We met every 2 weeks with different committees. There was 4 different committees that were addressing housing here in the city. And then in January 2020, I think it was this year, 25. Yeah, I think it was in January, we adopted the Housing for All plan. And this plan is an action plan that's supposed, idea is to line up with our comprehensive plan that will be adopting in order to do the action work, in order to actually address and have programmings toward this that various departments here in the city will work on, okay? And an example that would come from our department is that we would be looking at planning policies that we feel will help us to get to some of these action items. And a huge one was inclusionary zoning. Right now, ours is very divisive, and the idea is that within different communities, how do we allow, and this also goes when I was talking about the senior housing, how do we allow different types of housing types to be within singular neighborhoods that will not look too different from the homes that are already there, but will allow my 18-year-old to live near and not be priced out, and I'll allow myself at my age of 78 to still live in my community, so that way I can continue to go to my church and continue to do the different things that I love. And that's about it. So I'm going to review back that the areas that we're addressing mostly right now is neighborhood stabilization, senior housing, promoting home ownership, and then we have, and I forgot to add this on there, we actually have an anti-gentrification objective that has been included into our new plan. And within that one, we blatantly state that we are reviewing for the purposes of ensuring that we are not pricing out our community or displacing our community. And that is all from my side.
Thank you. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other discussion items that were mentioned by Board Member Burgess. She collected, and it's in your materials, a collection of what we think are very good tax abatement programs that are implemented by other cities in Palm Beach County. What we found is many of those cities, they fund those programs out of their own tax revenue. This is partially because the city has control over those dollars and they can implement it citywide as the city council determines. The Department of Development Services does not develop those kinds of tax programs. However, in doing our research for this, we did find that there are a lot of existing and upcoming opportunities in which this board, both sitting as this board and a combination of also as members of the public, will have some opportunities to influence and take advantage of some of the upcoming initiatives that are happening within the city and within some of the work that we're doing. The city administration does have the ability to enter in discussions with the county, and perhaps utilizing that Housing for All action plan would be a good vehicle in order to start those discussions with the county. But of course, the city still always has the ability to implement some of those programs on our own, as long as we utilize our own tax dollars. One of the items that we found was the city's Housing Trust Fund. This is a ready source of funding. The implementation of this fund will begin in 2026. And implementation of that, as we decide how we're going to spend the funds for affordable and workforce housing within the city, there's going to be more planning and public input, likely by the public and even possibly by this board, as those plans, and certainly by the city council, as the plans for expenditure of those funds are discussed and decided upon by the city. The concept of gentrification impact zones was brought up by Board Member Burgess. We think this is something that the board could begin to review and consider in 2026. Identifying the areas that are specifically vulnerable to this is something we feel is very important. And we will have an opportunity as we are wrapping up our new comprehensive plan, which is getting very close. We're hoping to bring that to you next month, hopefully, and then bring it to City Council in December. I think that will be our opportunity to follow up on that with beginning some neighborhood planning. And our goal is to do neighborhood planning on a neighborhood by neighborhood basis all throughout the city. And as we're doing that, that's the perfect opportunity to identify these neighborhoods that have potential, that are potentially more impacted than others, and potentially propose creating impact zones and even potential tax incentives that might address the specific needs of one particular neighborhood or another, as we study those neighborhoods and come up with plans to make those improvements. Another area that was mentioned is community benefits. These are another potential vehicle to direct funding towards anti-gentrification efforts. And the city is just beginning a brand new process to work cooperatively with the CRA to develop citywide community benefits that are linked to new development. So anti-gentrification programs can be implemented through this new effort, and this is a brand new effort that the public at some point in the near future will get to comment on, as the city manager has made it a priority to ensure that we focus on community benefits. So in 2026, that will be a new initiative that will be moving forward through the process by the city manager's office. And then the other, what we think is a really good idea that was mentioned was providing additional opportunities to educate residents about existing programs and tax opportunities to help our residents. And we feel that the city's communication department could assist in providing some of this information to our residents, how to take advantage of some of the existing tax programs from the Save Our Homes changes that were made, and homestead exemptions, and ensuring that they're applying for the maximum amount that they can get. And we think we could utilize the city's communications department to help reach out to our residents and remind them. So that's the summary of staff's feedback. And that concludes our comments, but I would like to, at this point, turn it over to the board for discussion, or perhaps Board Member Burgess, if she has additional follow-up that she'd like to make.
Sure, good evening. Thank you so much for that presentation, Mr. Evans. Really good feedback. I, kind of jotted down some of the dates that you were talking about. For the one that I think is the most easiest to kind of implement right away is the last one you mentioned, and getting that information with your like public affairs department, getting some of that information out. What do you say would be some of the expected time frame on that, especially since we're getting ready to go into property tax season?
Mr. Chair, if I may, you said the last program related to community benefits?
That was just the existing programs, reaching out to residents, maybe like some type of campaign to get them to know, like, if they're staying at home, are they getting all of their exemptions, those type of things.
Okay. How soon the city can begin an education campaign to notify residents of potential benefits or
just like
expirations?
if there was a general time frame, because he had mentioned some dates, up in 2026 with some of the other things. I was just wondering if there was kind of like a time frame for this one.
As of this report, no, we haven't established a time frame for it. What we centered this presentation around was responding to the request for research on this. We haven't taken steps to create initiatives. We do follow the city manager's lead when it comes to how he wants to utilize his staff and what initiatives he wants to take on. What we do have under our jurisdiction as development services is how we inform and prioritize and what we present in terms of policy considerations for the comprehensive plan that will be before City Council very soon. So this is a timely conversation in terms of what our policies are going to be towards it, but we would have to bring this to the city manager's attention and get his feedback on how he wants to proceed and if he would like to create such a campaign related to these topics through marketing and other methods of the city.
Yeah, because some of them could be really simple, just like, retweeting from the property appraiser, with expect your trim. I know that came out in August. Like I said, November 1st, the first week of, we're going to be sending out property tax bills just so residents have that information. They stay on top of it, because in paying November early, you get your 4% discount. Really simple stuff that just can be like retweeted by the city.
Understood. Would it be ideal if I facilitated a conversation between us and the city manager so he can be aware of this and do what he could with that information?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
And I haven't been on social media much lately. I've been missing out. I guess I have to get back on.
You're not missing much. I will say that that the city uses multiple methods to get information out to residents. And Walter, who now leads the communications department for the city. So part of that discussion, if he supports the initiative, would be what methods could be used by the city to get to residents on social media and the other avenues that they use to get information out. So I'm sure that could be a part of the conversation as well.
Thank you. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do the research and bring this information back. Because a lot of the times, our community, we just don't know, right? We just don't know. And I can attest that I hear those type of stories every day in the work that I do, that people are just not aware of things that are out there and available for them. So I'm a big proponent of sharing and providing knowledge when that's something that, we can do kind of freely.
Board Member Burgess? Chair.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that makes it easier for our team, because our communications team is really stretched, is whenever anything is ready. I know you said retweet, that means that they have to look for it, but if from your office anything is ready and you know that it's like it's a flyer or any kind of promotion that that's coming out, if you could share that with us, that makes it a million times easier for it to be posted. I don't know if you ever see those, but that's helpful for us too.
Yes. I used to work in that department. I'm in a different department. now.
Okay,
I was
okay.
in public affairs
Okay,
for many years, but I would most definitely get you that information.
that'll be awesome.
I got a quick question. Can we piggyback with the county mailings, the trim reports, with our own little, for our Riviera Beach residents? Can we contact the county and maybe when they send out the mailers, we can piggyback with our own little notice, the little note? Riviera Beach residents, any questions, please call for homestead exemptions. Make sure you're getting your buck's worth, however you want to word this, and maybe piggyback with the county. I'm just putting it out there. We can ask them. It doesn't hurt to ask.
And well, I can add to that, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
We do some outreach separately, like, for example, the city's water utility bills. There are other opportunities.
Okay.
I really appreciate Board Member Burgess's suggestion to look at, there's probably a lot of existing public outreach documents out there, but we don't have to recreate the wheel. We just have to find a way to get them to our residents. So that's a fantastic idea, and we will certainly follow up on that. I would hope that the county is already, if they're sending mail, including that information, but perhaps not. But any ways that we can explore that would help get the word out for those, we need to do that.
Now, you mentioned initiatives. I know you mentioned some. What initiatives are you talking about that we can get as a board involved in? Do you have any specific initiatives? Are you working on those initiatives and then report back to us? What's the scoop here?
Specifically, when we start doing the neighborhood planning, that's an opportunity to really focus in on each neighborhood and identify and potentially create a designation of an impact area. And then we could also follow that up with recommendations to city administration, city council, that we've identified an impact area, and here are some potential programs that could address the particular problem in that neighborhood. That one is specifically will be something that the Planning and Zoning Board will be working on in the future. And then additionally, when the city begins to implement our housing trust fund, it's more of a general public. I'm not sure if that will return to the P&Z board. However, will certainly go through the public process. And those are funds that are readily available as the city starts to determine next year how they're going to spend those monies to accommodate towards affordable housing and workforce housing. And then the other one I wanted to mention was the community benefits. And I don't have a lot of information because it's a brand new initiative, but it's a very exciting one that's been announced, in which the city is going to actively try and work on creating a targeted program, a list of community benefits and more opportunities for new development that's coming into the city to make contributions to identified areas and community needs that the city has. And I apologize, I don't have any more information, but I wanted to mention it because it's really exciting
Actually,
and it's brand new.
Mr. Evans, I actually do have additional information on that, and that is an initiative coming out of the city manager's office. There is already a draft ordinance for a community benefits ordinance for the city that would create certain expectations of projects of a certain scale, especially if they're getting support from the city to contribute to a menu of different community benefits, and one of them being creating a fund to assist residents that could be utilized towards anti-displacement programs and funding for those types of programs. So that is an ordinance that's already in draft form being circulated. So I would guess that would be before city council sometime before the end of the year. But the city manager's office is leading that, and this is something that would dovetail with what we're discussing tonight.
Question for you. You're talking about the city housing fund. Is that the same fund where the Oculina project, I'm quoting this figure, I think it was 3 million. Is that the fund they're contributing money to? I thought they were contributing money to create housing for the Riviera Beach. In other words, that funding is going there. Is this a different fund site that we're talking about?
Yes, you are correct. The MEHOP program that Oculina is paying into, that fund, those funds go into the Housing Trust Fund of the city. The Housing Trust Fund is different than what would be set up for the community benefits. Well, depending on how the program is set up, they could say that one of your options is to pay into the city's Housing Trust Fund. Right now, the ordinance states that funds in that account are only eligible expenditures are only for the creation of affordable housing, acquisition of land for it. There's limited uses for it. A program to do tax abatement or tax rebates to residents, that's not necessarily in the scope right now, but depending on how the program is set, there could be a separate fund for that, or the Housing Trust Fund could be expanded to include that. But those are some considerations of what could take place. But what's in the draft ordinance that I'm assisting city administration in reviewing does not identify the Housing Trust Fund currently as where those funds could be deposited and used for that source.
And who's going to control where these funds are spent? Is there going to be a board, a committee, or is it going to be up to the city manager and the council to decide how they're going to do it, what they're going to do with the money?
I don't have the details on that part yet.
Oh, see, from a personal perspective, and I mentioned it here when the developers are here, oh, we're going to contribute to this fund. And my follow-up to that has always been, I'd rather have you do the development so I know that that's going to get built. That's my own humble opinion, because there's no way to track where these monies are going. For instance, with that 3 million that I'm sure there's some vacant lots somewhere with the other millions we have. Maybe we can build a combination of senior housing with workplace housing or affordable housing that we can do. But it's never going to get done because the city, they are not developers. Let's face it. The money's going to be there, and I just want to make sure that the monies are there. If it's a housing, it's going to housing. Not that they're going to use that money to deviate it and use it somewhere else. So we have to have some type of checks and balances. So whatever is presented, since you're helping with the city manager, we need checks and balances built in. And then we need more than one or two people deciding where the money's going to be spent. Is that reasonable?
Absolutely. I do know that there is a committee for oversight of the program that is being proposed for it. But again, there are a lot of details and, of course, financial oversight that would have to come with that. So again, I haven't gone through all of the details of it yet, but it is in the works, though, is the main thing that I'm able to report at this point. And I will just add that the MIHOP ordinance that was updated at the end of 2022, 23, that one added additional guardrails on the housing trust fund. The MIHOP program has been here for decades. This text amendment did add language on what are eligible expenses for it. They did create an oversight component to it and ensure that expenditures out of it do have to go through city council, and there's an oversight committee for it as well. So we did add those additional considerations with the MIHOP program that did come through the text amendment of this department, the Planning and Zoning Board. This new program, again, is coming from a different angle, as in not through development services, but it does connect at the end of the day. So we are making sure that those types of guardrails are involved.
Yes, and we discussed those when they came for us, but we're an advisory board, just like that committee might be an advisory board. I just want to make sure that we have some checks and balances that are written into whatever policy they're going to make. Because we as a committee can say, yeah, I want housing there. Okay, perfect. And then somebody else with the authority says, hell no. So we just got to make sure we have checks and balances in place. And this is the same conversation we had way back a couple of years ago when we have all these funds created and nobody can ever explain to us, okay, where can the money be spent? Are there any checks and balances on it? And then, we started working little by little on different text amendments to what we had. So that's all I'm asking, if you don't mind. Anybody else on the board have anything to say, please? No? Okay. Thank you very much for the report. Appreciate it. Any workshop items, Ms. Weathers?
No, sir, Mr. Chair.
Any public comments?
No, sir, Mr. Chair.
Staff updates?
Nothing additional from staff, Mr. Chair.
Correspondence?
Actually,
Oh,
can I add one thing? I apologize. And I didn't talk to anybody
Sure.
about this. Dagnabbit. I just wanted to add this for everyone, and I do apologize. The county is making a transportation plan. And we need everyone to actually go on the website in order to do the survey. As we in our city, we utilize all our roads every day, and we use the roads throughout our county. So I'm telling everyone that is listening to go to P as in Paul, B as in boy, C as in county, moves, moves.com, to ensure that you take that survey, and those that are at home take the survey as well, in order for us to get all of our input from residents here in the city.
Thank you. We have a date for the upcoming Planning and Zoning Board meeting, just to confirm. It's not on here. No? You'll let us know?
Yes.
Yes.
The next date is November 13th.
Okay.
Chair,
Yes, Ms. Birch.
I want to go ahead and put on the record, I will be out of town on the 13th.
So would I. I'm going to be out on the 13th, not coming back stateside until the 14th. Yes, and then we get close to Thanksgiving and the holidays. All right, if there's nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn? It is 7:29 p.m.
So moved.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, guys. Great meeting.